Maybe you're skeptical to believing that God would actually save us from helplessness or fear or integrity or all the other psalms that we were talking about and the problems and all those psalms that we were talking about. Like, how can we trust that God will actually save us in the midst of all of this? Look, it's a legit question. Because we look around and we see how everybody else is acting, and it seems to be doing just fine, right? It seems to be getting us somewhere. It seems to be moving us somewhere. It seems to be, doing the job. The next two Psalms, today and tomorrow, to finish out the week, shows us how and why we should trust in God for these circumstances. David writes this: the voice of the Lord is above the waters. The Lord of glory thunders. The Lord above vast waters. The voice of the Lord in power. The voice of the Lord in splendor. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord shatters the cedars of Lebanon. What I'm thinking is going on here is that David is in his palace inside Jerusalem. And Jerusalem was up on a mountain, and his palace would be the highest structure in Jerusalem. And as he's looking out, he's seeing the storm off in the distance. And he's talking about the power of God through the power of the storm. And now in our culture, we look at storms as bad, and tornadoes and hurricanes and all this is bad, and they cause massive destruction. But the reality is that the power of the Lord is seen in everything. And storms, man, they're still underneath God's power. They're still below God's power. God is more powerful than the most powerful of storms. And as David is writing, he's talking about the voice of the Lord. Just if the Lord showed up and he spoke, it would thunder. It would break the cedars of Lebanon in half. And we don't get that, right? It'd be the equivalent of saying, if the Lord showed up and he just spoke, it would snap the redwoods of California in half. Now that's power. Power beyond anything that any human or human implement has. That's power. That's the type of power God has. And David goes on to say, the Lord sat enthroned at the flood. The Lord sits enthroned, king forever. The Lord gives his people strength. The Lord blesses his people with peace because of this type of power that the Lord has. He gives his people strength. He gives his people peace. We can trust God to get us through the helplessness and through the fear, and to give us integrity because, well, he has power enough that all he would have to do is speak, and redwoods would be cut in half. That's power. Do you want that type of power in your life? That's why we wait on the Lord. The everyday prayer is, God, let me wait on your power so that I can have your strength.